Good morning. Now for your daily horoscope for Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Aries. Be more optimistic than usual today, Aries. It's important that your intense emotions don't bog you down. You may lose sight of important facts. Maintain a healthy relationship between you and reality. You may find that your head is in the clouds and you're slowly slipping into some netherworld that has nothing to do with you. Don't get thrown off course. Taurus. You may be in quite the party mode today, Taurus. Be open and social with the people around you. Take off on a wild adventure that quenches your thirst for spontaneity and fun. Stay up late and talk to a friend you haven't seen for a while. The time to live is now. Make the most of every moment of your life. Gemini. You're ready for a dramatic change in your life, Gemini. It isn't that you're dissatisfied with your career or personal life. Rather, you feel like you're missing out on something great. If you only knew what. Be receptive to whatever opportunities arise and explore them all. You may find the answers you seek through travel or more education. Bring a friend if you're afraid to explore on your own. Cancer. Cancer, expect to meet someone new who will be a tremendous influence in your life, probably in your career. If you've been frustrated by your lack of progress up the corporate ladder, take heart. This new person may be able to show you another way up. In spite of your frustration, you should continue to work in your usual manner. You're on the right path, even though you may doubt it now. Leo. You've been on a wild ride for several months, Leo. All that excitement in your personal life and career. If major changes for the better haven't yet occurred, know that they will. A promotion is in order, most likely accompanied by a raise. Don't act so surprised. You've had this coming for a long time. Celebrate tonight with someone dear to your heart. Virgo. Foreign lands and new opportunities beckon today, Virgo. Keep your eyes and ears open as these opportunities may come to you from an unusual or unexpected source. You're ready for a change of some kind in your personal or professional life. It's up to you to take steps in whatever new direction you decide to go. Don't rule out a few classes as a way to further your career. Libra. The astral energy indicates that you may have extra money in your pocket, Libra. Take care to invest this money wisely rather than spend it all. You will be happier sacrificing short-term gratification for future financial gain. Positive relationships and socializing are indicated this evening. Make a point to get together with close friends and loved ones. Scorpio. This will be an interesting day provided you keep your eyes and ears open to the opportunities that arise. Don't be afraid to take on new challenges. Even if you feel unsure about your abilities, embrace the chance to test them. If others think you're up to the challenge, you should give yourself the same benefit of the doubt. New friends are indicated. Make a point to smile. Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you finally begin to feel like you're making progress. You're intent on completing some projects that have long been in the works. After many hours of concentration and focus, you make the last adjustments and proclaim it finished. You can expect to be rewarded for your efforts. Your skills are extraordinary. You can enjoy a real sense of satisfaction. Celebrate a little. Capricorn. Love is coming your way, Capricorn. 3, 2, 1. Capricorn. Love is coming your way, Capricorn. You're likely to be more passionate than usual. Be careful that your enthusiasm for the object of your desire doesn't go overboard. It's possible that you have an unrealistic view of the situation. It also could be that someone is leading you on and making you think something that isn't completely true. Aquarius. The fast actions of the day may confuse you, Aquarius. Don't be surprised if your head is in a whirl over recent events involving love and romance. You may feel as if things are happening too quickly for you to really understand them. Try not to be so analytical. You may find that you're chasing a lost cause while the train is pulling out of the station. Hop on board and leave the other issue behind. Pisces. Your dreamy nature is going to be sparked today, and you have to take an idealistic view of the world, Pisces. Even though the current situation isn't exactly how you view it, that doesn't mean you can't change the situation to make it more than the way you want. Be courageous when it comes to your goals. Let your fantasies run wild and work to turn them into realities. This has been your daily horoscope for Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Good morning. spectacular, beautiful good morning to you, DBS family. It is Thursday. It is one day before Friday. We're almost to the end. But of course, with all that good jazz and a great show coming up ahead of you, before we get to that, let's see what the news desk has to say. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Time now for the news. My name is Timothy Polio. A groundbreaking international court ruling has confirmed that countries have binding legal obligations to fight climate change, not just under climate agreements, but across a wide spectrum of international law. The decision is being hailed as a major victory for small island states like St. Lucia, which are on the front lines of rising seas, extreme weather, and existential threats to sovereignty.
Most of the major emitters like the United States and Germany and so, they were arguing that only the climate treaties can regulate climate change, and that you cannot use customary international law or other environmental treaties to regulate it. And the court, and we were arguing, no, you have to look at the entire corpus of international law. And especially in terms of, you heard the question that was put before the court. We talk about vulnerable people and its impact on and the disproportionate nature on our islands. So we thought that it was not just the climate treaties that can deal with that. The entire corpus of international law, including human rights law, environmental treaties, and customary international law. And the court agreed.
The court also addressed existential concerns for low-lying island nations. It clarified that countries that become physically submerged due to sea level rise may still retain their legal statehood and maritime boundaries. We continue the broadcast with news that Ridley Beach is getting a major upgrade. Island Resorts has begun construction on a brand new public beach park, promising free access for all while keeping the beach open throughout the project.
There will be safety fencing installed around the work area, and again, this is absolutely necessary to ensure that people are safe, people are kept safe. Of course, you're going to have heavy equipment, you're going to have everything, as I said, that comes with an active construction zone. So one of the questions that I've been getting is, will there be a fee to use the beach? Absolutely not. The facilities will be free of charge for everyone.
Slated for completion in 6 weeks, the park will feature a fish restaurant, bars, playgrounds, and even yoga decks, transforming the shoreline into a vibrant community hub. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has sounded the alarm over the island's dwindling population, warning that the trend threatens the sustainability of the National Insurance Corporation and the island's social safety nets.
It's a serious problem. In Barbados, it has reached a height that the Prime Minister Mia Mottley, every day she speaks about it. In Europe, in the US. So it's a problem in Japan. It's almost like a pandemic in Japan. So we now have to decide, the question is, our population is dwindling. But the people who are living now, they have to try to make their contribution for the NIC.
In a wide-ranging press briefing, the Prime Minister outlined urgent measures, including a new unemployment insurance program, expanded pension schemes for fishermen, and a crackdown on unregistered workers in the informal sector. And the Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre is clapping back at claims made by a United Workers' Party candidate who accused the St. Lucia Labour Party administration of pushing a communist agenda and attempting to build a one-party state. In a sharp but measured response during a press briefing, the Prime Minister rejected the accusations as not only outdated but fundamentally misguided.
When last have you heard the word communist? You see, again, a lack of knowledge. Communism is no longer in the lexicon of political science any longer. All students of political science have studied communism. And if you studied communism, you realize that the St. Lucia Labour Party is nothing near communist.
Mr. Pierre, calling the comments a clear sign of ignorance, defended his party's policies as rooted in social democracy, focused on equity and opportunity, not authoritarianism. The Prime Minister laid out a series of Labour Party initiatives as evidence, citing universal access to education, the establishment of an unemployment insurance program, and land distribution for the landless as part of a long-standing mission to uplift the underprivileged. That's the news. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Join us at noon for our next news major, the Lunchtime Report. I'm Timothy Polio. Good morning.
Thank you so much, News Desk. Stick with us. This is DBS This Morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back, DBS family. We caught up with Yvonne Edwin, president of the Public Service Toastmasters Club, to tell us about their youth summer workshop. Let's see what she has to say. I'm joined here by Yvonne Edwin, president, right, of the Toastmasters Club, Public Service Toastmasters Club, and we're here to talk about you guys' youth summer workshop. That's correct?
Yes, so the Public Service Toastmasters Club, we're launching a youth summer workshop, and it's all geared towards a better thinking, listening, speaking. It's tagged along the line of amplifying young voices, of course, to teach communication skills, leadership to some aspect, but primarily public speaking. One of Toastmasters' mantra or one of its mottos is for better listening, for better thinking, for better speaking. And this 3-day workshop aims at targeting young persons between the ages of 10 and 16 to develop those communication skills. Short, but a very targeted approach in getting young voices amplified.
Why would you say, because somebody may be watching and wondering, well, why is it so important to, have better communication or better speaking and so on? Is it really that important for me to have better speaking,
It is important. In today's social media era, you have a lot of persons out there on TikTok, on social media, writing and scripting and doing things to communicate in that platform. However, when it comes to enhancing the writing and the speaking skills, we've found that our young persons, even older persons, tend to sort of fall back in some of the key aspects of communication. And so this workshop provides the opportunity to amplify young voices in, of course, a more structured manner to better and enhance their communication.
Now, let's speak a bit more about the workshop now. Let's dive in a bit. What can persons now expect from the workshop, if you can go into a bit of the nitty-gritty?
So from the onset of the workshop, we would try to understand the grouping. As anything else, you have any session, you need to understand the persons who have registered for it, the participants. Get a feeling of how they learn, how they communicate. What is it that we need to tap into? Because every group will be different. And so from the onset, we would do that, identify the key communication techniques, and get them into practical exercises. Speaking, hearing them, seeing how their body language aligns with what they're saying, and of course with things they already know. So it's a 3-day short session. However, there are things that can be targeted, learnt, and developed during that short time.
And generally with the Toastmasters now, because I'm sure a lot of young persons, a lot of persons out there may have been hearing about Toastmasters, want to join Toastmasters, wanting what opportunities they could get from being a part of Toastmasters or within their development for themselves. What can you say for that?
So Public Service Toastmasters is just one of 4 clubs on island. Anyone wanting to join the Toastmasters platform, the forum, it is an international organization that teaches leadership and communication skills. And you can visit any one of those 4 clubs on island. You have the NIC Toastmasters, Platinum Artistic, and the UE Open Campus Club, as well as Public Service. We all have a different club atmosphere, but the concept and the teaching techniques are the same. And so we encourage you to join, be a guest, come see what it's like, feel the vibe, and then you can decipher if you want to become a member.
And back to the workshop now, could you just give the details as to when it is, what time, and if there is a cost, what's the cost?
Perfect. So the Youth Summer Workshop held by the Public Service Toastmasters Club will kick off on August 18th. So it's Monday to Wednesday, August 18th to the 20th. There's a $20 registration fee, very small, just to cover costs. It includes a break for the students, and it runs from 9:30 to 12:30. So it's a 3-hour session, not a full day. The kids can come equipped with their break or something to munch on. But again, as I said, it's inclusive of a break. $20 registration. There's an online link that can be shared, or you can reach out to us at 725-1722.
So all young people out there who want to better improve, I should say, their communication skills, your speaking and so forth,
take this opportunity, grab it. Only $20 is a small contribution towards a great opportunity. Capitalize on it, guys. Any last words to them, Yvonne?
For better speaking, thinking, and communicating, you need to learn by doing. And this is a platform to do so.
Couldn't say any better. Of course, thanks for being the first here on DBS this morning. And of course, stick around. This DBS will be right back. For all you car enthusiasts out there, of course, you know, you guys have all of your clubs and so on. We met up with the Swift Club in St. Lucia, and they're having a back to school initiative. St. Lucia, of course, I'm here joined by Zidane Michel, PRO of the St. Lucia Swift Club. And it's not that often you hear much about these clubs coming out, but they have an initiative going on, a back to school drive. Good morning, Zidane. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you, man. I'm blessed, always blessed.
Excellent, man. So tell us a bit about the drive that you guys have going on for back to school.
Well, this year, usually we do toy drives where we go to different communities and try to give toys to some of the less privileged areas. But this year we tried to do something a bit different. Rather than just giving out toys, we're trying to give some resources to some of the less fortunate, well, not less fortunate, but some of those that probably need it. And we're going in the areas from Odsa all the way up to Mac, Bexor, maybe as far as just before the battle. I can't remember the area. But yeah, we're trying to cover these areas, try to really have an impact on these communities because as you some of you may know, we have as a club we try to really not just make it about cars and what car clubs do, and not just be an ordinary car club. We try our best to give back, to do something to really cater to our social responsibility and to ensure that our presence is felt more than just in our limes and we really try to make sure that when we active, we give back. And that is one of the core principles of our club, is that we try to give back and always try to be present in that regard. So that's an initiative we came up with, the idea about the board, and we're really trying to make it as big as possible. We're trying to get people on board. We have a few partnerships with people that are interested and love the idea of giving back, as you can imagine. So we're really trying to make it as big as possible and try to hit as many families as possible, and really get some of the students and the children ready for the new year and give them a little extra bit of a boost ahead of the new year, and really try to impact the future positively.
How did you guys even go about your selection process, or even knowing who may be those more in need until give to them and so forth?
So since we've usually, again, with the toy drives we've done, we've already catered to certain areas. We've already done some on the West Coast. We've already done some on the East Coast. I think earlier this year or sometime last year, we would have gone to January, where we went and we gave toys. So we're trying to, it's not really, again, just a particular people, but it's just we found an area that we haven't specifically tackled with any initiative. We said, okay, we haven't really done something in that, and we have a few members from that area, and we just decided as a collective that this is the areas we're trying to really to cater to. And since we have members in the area, and again, these people know people, and you know how it goes, these people reach out to certain people, and then they can give us an insight into the places and the people that that would really have the people that would really fit into the category that we're trying to reach out to. So that's how we really went about it. Still in the process, actually. So if you know anybody in the area that you feel like we can do, just tell them to reach out. We'll be passing around. They can look out for us on Sunday. There's really no specific selection, There is a possibility. I feel like at some point on Sunday there will not be a specific person that we're reaching out to. It will just be a case where we're going out. Whoever reaches out, I'm sure, knowing how we go, because I know we have the tendency to really bring forth a lot of contributions. People really go out. I know usually most of our members patch up and we put together, and we have too many things usually. So if that is the case, we might even find ourselves just think anybody that reaches out on Sunday, we most likely will not be in a position to say no.
So to anybody watching there who may be one of those in need or wants that support and so on, what is the number ways they will contact you guys?
Okay, so you can reach out to myself at 520-1649. You can reach out to me directly, or you can reach out to me on WhatsApp. And once you do that, we can always go from there. We can have a discuss, and I can let you know at what time you can expect us, and we can have an interaction based on what you need, what is needed, and what we can do, and so on, and find a middle ground and try to help as many as possible.
Excellent, excellent. Of course, we do commend you guys for what you're doing, of course, and we are looking forward to the more initiatives that you guys have in store as well for St. Lucia. Now, St. Lucia, we've been doing an amazing, amazing job over and over when it comes to the world of sports in St. Lucia. To add on to that, St. Lucia, in fact, I'm not even going to get the cat out of the bag. I'm going to have him do all the talking. And by him, I mean Wayne Ogies, the president of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association. Tell us about how we've been doing cricket. Of course, we're here at the National Lotteries, and we're here to discuss everything cricket. St. Lucia just concluded the Windward Island Super 50 tournament, and we have some spectacular news from that. So, first of all, good morning. Could you tell St. Lucia who you are?
Yeah. Good morning, Wayne Ogies, the president of the St. Lucia National Cricket Association.
All right. Yes. Wayne, could you give us the grand news, the great news for those who may not know as to what came out of that tournament recently?
Well, yes. St. Lucia in 2023 won the Windward Island Senior Men's Tournament, and we, for a combination of reasons last year, we were defeated by Dominica, and this year the team really put in some good performances, and they won the Windward Island Senior Men's Tournament again. So St. Lucia is now the champion team. Yeah.
How does it feel for St. Lucia to rise once again as champion?
I'm very thankful, happy and thankful, because this year the selectors took a decision to stick to and implement a policy. And the policy we adopted was that we wanted to have a longer term view of success. In fact, whilst we wanted to win this year, I think we were all pleasantly surprised at the performance of the young players within the team. And we had a number of players, for example, young Shawneel Edward, who made his debut. He did very well. He ended up with 8 wickets. He got some crucial wickets for us. In the first game, he had a crucial 10th wicket partnership with Keon Gaston. They put on over 80 for the last wicket. And Shawneel Edward ended up in the 30s. So that's a young man who has the potential to become a very good all-rounder. We had performances from Jidney Lybox, for example, with the ball also. We were very pleased to have McKenny Clark for the first time at the senior level, because he was injured last year and he wasn't available the previous year. All in all, then our batters, we had very good performances, good starts from Shadrach Descartes, who we all know, who's a tremendous all-round player with bat and ball. Noel Leo, who did excellent, very, very well. He got 2 half centuries. He's certainly a player. I don't even want to say a player for the future, but he's a player that we need to keep supporting. And of course, our captain, Kimani Melis, led from the front. He provided strong leadership for the team. And that's something we're very grateful for. And we had some performances from Akim and so on. So altogether, it's not one person who did it. It's a combination. All the guys pulled for each other. We saw Tariq in the last game. He got 3 wickets. But in the field, you saw in the field the effort, the never say die attitude. And that, I know, is a philosophy that the team went into the tournament with, where we give everything, we bruise ourselves for the team. And that's the kind of culture we want to inculcate in our young players. so that when they move on to the next level, to the Windwards level and beyond, that the culture, the behavior is already ingrained in there. So all around, we're very pleased. Also, from the investment that the government of St. Lucia continues to make in the High Performance Center, we're very pleased with the returns that we are seeing, because a number of the players I've mentioned there, they're all part of the High Performance Center. And we're very grateful for the work that has been done by John Eugene and his team in the HPC, and likewise by Coach Crafton for the strong leadership he provided, along with Dalton Polius and the manager, keep the guys on track, keep them focused so that they would see the tournament through.
How can we, because I mean, St. Lucia has been on a roll in terms of sports, especially over the past year and a half going. Now in the world of cricket, especially, we saw the Kings winning last year. Now we're seeing with this tournament and so on. How can we keep the discipline and the support on a national level with the citizens, even the players amongst themselves, more specifically with the older players who translate to the younger players? How can we then see a growth in that support and the discipline?
Yeah. Well, in terms of discipline with the players, I think what we are trying to create within the culture in St. Lucia cricket is have players who are more self-led, players who will take responsibility for the training. So if, say, for example, the coach is not available today, we don't want players to be jumping around happy to go back home. We want players knowing what must be done. If we know we have to run 10 rounds around the field, we have to run 4 200 races, 5 100s, whatever it is that we know we have to do to warm up, we do it. And we know if we have to do skills drills, we know every player should know what it is that he's working towards, and just go ahead and execute that. I think the areas we need to sharpen up on is in terms of developing what is referred to as individual development plans, creating individual development plans for each player, right? So players know what their strengths are, their weaknesses are, and the areas that they need to brush up on. So if it is as a fast bowler, you want to become more consistent and bowling Yorkers, if the coach is not there, you know what you need to work on. So if the coach is not around, you put down your markers and you do what you have to do. And likewise for a batsman, if you know you want to work on your front foot play or your back foot play, all of that is done, without supervision, So essentially, we are working to make our coaches obsolete, essentially, because we want our players to take responsibility for their development, responsibility for your fitness, responsibility for your training, and we are creating what we call an environment of continuous improvement. So if last year on a yo-yo test you scored 10, we do not expect you to score 10 again on a yo-yo test. We expect you to go to 11 and 12 and 13 and 14. That is the kind of high performance environment we want to create, where players begin to challenge themselves. Not just the coach challenging you, but the players are challenging themselves to be better. Yeah.
If each player can then take their own accountability on the team level, it can be.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Where do you now see we're heading in terms of cricket?
Yeah, but I must tell you, I'm very excited about the bench strength I see in St. Lucia's cricket now. Even some of the young men who did not make the team, right? You have a number of really gifted young players. Let's look at, for example, you had Jonathan Daniel, who played for the Windwards under 19s, right? You have young players like Theo Edward. He did not even get a game, right? He'll be going off to Trinidad as the captain of the Windwards under 17. He was the vice captain of the Windwards under 19s team, right? When you look at it, you have fast bowlers. You have Davin Ford, who did very well for us as a young fast bowler. You have this other young man, Fanus, right? You have the Shalmine boy. There are a number of young, talented cricketers that are pushing for national selection. And we're happy for that because we do not want our current players to get complacent. Okay, so we want our youngsters and other people to challenge. We have batting-wise, we have Jad Goodman, who has excelled with the bat. He's done very well. We expect certain things that he needs to work on to get better, so he could challenge for a place on the senior national team. All in all, when you look at it, we have young leg spinners. We have Cody Fontina, right, as a young leggy. We have Jones as a young leggy. There's another Alexander, a young man who's budding up as a cricketer. So when you look at the bench strength, plus there are other guys who who are talented, but they may not be as committed to the game. And you could see if they commit to the game and looking to improve themselves, I mean, they can create serious headaches for selectors. So from that perspective, I'm very happy. I think I would like to see us strengthen our youth programs. We're about to launch and have a grassroots tournament. I'm looking forward to that. That is guided by Neville Florence. He's the second vice president of cricket. The one area that continues to struggle is women's cricket. It's a major concern for us, a major challenge. We are working closely with the rep responsible, that's Miss Rosin Preville. And, we're hoping that once we put our heads together, we can certainly make that contribution to make things better for the ladies. But right now, it's really about challenging our youngsters in all the age groups. Yeah.
Well, it looks like we have a very bright future ahead, a brighter future, I should say, in terms of the world of sport, especially within cricket. Thank you so much for being with us here on DBS Morning. We never short amount of time. Hopefully, we'll come back and talk a bit more about the world of sport. And with that, all amazing, beautiful things must come to an end, including this week, but just not yet. We still have Friday to go. Of course, enjoy your day today, guys. Go out, have an amazing day, drink some water, be kind with somebody. I hope you did some yoga or Zumba if Trevor Lawrence right before this. Anyways, guys, have an amazing day. And tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on DBS This Morning. I'm your boy Vision, and I'm out. Enjoy.